Here we go. Gang, welcome to our most recent video slash webinar slash hot off the presses item coming at you from the Hatch Coaching YouTube world. My name is Erik Hatch, cleverly putting my name on everything. I am so thrilled to talk to you today about growing a healthy and profitable team. Sometimes those are in conflict with one another, but we're going to make sure that we can merge all of that together so that you can grow a healthy and profitable team. We got to start with a few things. First of all, I want to share with you a little bit about our business. I have the privilege of serving as CEO of a couple different companies. Hatch Realty, located in Fargo, North Dakota, and we have 4 markets outside of that as well that we serve with some expansion prowess. We have been serving the upper Midwest now. We opened up in 2014 as a real estate company, but I've been running a team since 2012. It's been so fun. Next month, we're going to pass 5,000 homes sold. And just last year, 2020, we sold 868 properties. We're having some fun. We're doing some big things. And in a little town like Fargo, it is just so rewarding. So that's what I get to do on the real estate side of things. On the coaching side of things with Hatch Coaching, we are doing an intentional and tremendous amount of impact stuff throughout the real estate industry. It's myself and my partner, Robbie. A lot of you know Robbie T. He is the guru of lead conversion and systems and the psychology of sales. So he is as good as it comes if that's what you're looking for. For me, I get passionate about team building and leadership and recruitment and growth. So I'm facing the team, Robbie's facing the clients, and together we are going to have a harmonious, beautiful world. So thanks much for tuning in. Today, we're talking about 5 ways to grow a healthy and profitable team. If you're watching live and you have questions, please put them in the chat box or the Q&A portion, and we will happily answer as much as we can. If you are watching a recording of this, go ahead and ask the question in the comment section, and we will get back to you with that because we want to be able to give as much value as possible. There's no sales pitch today, but I am going to share with you a couple of things that could be opportunistic for your world. We don't ever like to pitch anything. We just want to, again, provide simple and lovely opportunities for folks. I said lovely. That was very nice. Let's talk about 5 ways to grow a healthy and profitable team, shall we? First off, why do you want to have a team? I think that's a question we have to ask is what is this burning desire for you to have a team? Some of you watching this already have a team and you're wondering, why the heck am I doing this? Some of you want to have a team because you think it's this golden ticket to make more money and work less, and both, well, they're a little bit misleading. I think having a team is only best when your desire is to get joy and satisfaction from helping other people achieve their goals. In fact, people ask me all the time, Erik, how many people work for you? And my answer is I don't have anybody that works for me. I go to work to help 54 people with my real estate team achieve their goals every day. I work for them, right? It's that mindset of why do I want to have a team? Because it is my consummate joy to be a chapter in somebody else's book. I don't need this amazing autobiography. I just want to show up in your world. There are financial benefits. There are time pieces that you get back. And that is the healthy portion that I want to talk about. And it takes a long time. We're gonna get to that. It takes a long time. But I want to establish what is health. And I think that health is wealth. So let me break down the 3 aspects and elements of what I think constitutes health or wealth. The first is an abundance of resources. Those resources may be financial. Growing a business and taking risk obviously comes with some nice fringe benefits that it should make you some money. But I've seen some people get really shocked by the system of what they're working in, and they say, well, I was making a lot of money as a realtor on my own, and then I started this team and now I'm making less. And that story happens a lot because it is not easy to do. It's simple. I want to show you the 5 simple ways of what you need to do, but it's not easy. So number 1 is an abundance of resources for wealth and health. Number 2 is time in your life. I see a lot of people work 90 to 110 hours a week, and that's just not a fulfilling life to feed, to take care of your family and to take care of those other things that really matter to you. It's obviously coming at the cost of yourself and those things that really matter. So wealth and health, we have an abundance of time, we have an abundance of resources, and then I think we have it rooted in the right culture. Culture is even an overused, watered down, washed up word quite a bit. I think that culture is like it's a word that's used far too much. So because of that, let's talk about the heartbeat, right? These are people that I am proud to be in the trenches with and that I will go to battle with. Those are the kind of people that make my culture up. Yeah, we have fun. Yeah, we work for one another, but these are people that I love and trust. If you don't have people that you love and trust in your ecosystem, it's not very healthy, is it? So that's what identifies health. Health and wealth are an abundance of resources, time, and ingrained with the right people. So how about profit? We're going to talk about profit. Then we're going to get to the big five. The big five. The big five are coming at you of 5 ways to grow a healthy and profitable team. Here's what profit means: is I want to make sure you're doing your numbers correctly. If you're running a team, my guess is you're probably not doing your numbers correctly. And if you're thinking about running a team, well, we gotta break down these numbers for you. If you are running a team, you need to pay yourself in 3 buckets. Bucket number 1, you should pay yourself a salary. This is the cost that it would take for you to replace you working in your business, on your business, pardon me. Not you as a salesperson, you as a team owner. This is the CEO role. And so I think that includes you're the marketing person, you're the visionary, you're oftentimes the HR department, you're in charge of leadership and coaching, you are the bookkeeper for a lot of things. Like there's a lot of responsibilities that are tied to this salary, but you should be paying yourself a salary. And if you're wondering, well, how much should I pay myself? I think that if you're, let's say, a $500,000 team, you're bringing in $500,000 in commissions annually, you should be paying yourself 10 to 15% of that, meaning $50,000 to $75,000 as a salary. If you're $1 million team, I think you're going to pay yourself about 10%, so about $100,000. Now, I don't think if you're a $2 or $3 million team that you should be paying yourself $200,000 or $300,000, because that's not the cost of what it would take to replace you. I don't think that you would need to hire a $300,000 CEO to run a $300,000 company. I think you can pay somebody $100,000 to $150,000. So use that rule of 10 to 15% up until you get to close to that $1 million mark, and then you're going to dilute that from there. So you pay yourself a salary. That's bucket number 1. And you need to understand this. We're putting things in different buckets, but you still own the buckets. When you go and file your taxes, the cash will be the exact same, whether you do this or you don't. You're just making sure that you understand what a healthy and profitable team looks like on the books. And we cannot have you not taking a salary, because if you're gone tomorrow, somebody needs to fill that role, and that somebody needs compensation. And so you need to understand what that third bucket, we're going to get to number 2 in a second, but that third bucket is team profit. After you pay yourself a salary, and then after you pay yourself commissions, just like you would pay somebody else. That's the second bucket. Bucket number 1, CEO salary. Bucket number 2 is you should pay yourself the same commission cut that you're paying an agent on your team. Let's use very simple math. Let's say you have agents on your team, or you're going to have agents on your team, and you decide, I want to pay them a 50-50 split. Well, guess what? You should be paying yourself a 50-50 split on those deals. Now, I wouldn't pay somebody who's doing listings 50-50. I'd pay them something like 30, and I'd keep 70 for the company. And I think 50-50 might even be a little high, but that's a total side conversation here. If you're going to pay a 50-50 split simply for conversation's sake, that means that on a $10,000 commission, you take $5,000 out of that and put it in your personal checking account. That is your earned commission as a salesperson in your company. The other $5,000 stays in the company as the commission, just like you'd pay Tony and Sally and Frank and Hank all on your team. You'd pay them a commission. Some would go to their personal checking account and some would stay in the company, depending on the split. And you should be doing that from moment one of you moving into running a team. So you got to get clear on your numbers, gang, if you want to get great at this game, because that final bucket, after you pay yourself a salary, you pay yourself a commission, just like you're paying everybody else on the team, then you have a true idea of what your team profit is. Team profit is cost of goods sold. That's all your commissions paid out to other people. So let's say you're $1 million team, you pay half of that in commissions. You're at a 50% split with everybody. So that means that you're going to pay $500,000 in commissions to somebody, and you're going to keep $500,000 in the company bucket. And remember, we're looking for that team profit. So it's total commissions minus cost of goods sold, or COGS for short, minus your expenses. Your expenses are covering your salary, your CEO salary. It's covering rent, and it's covering insurance. It's covering marketing. It's covering salaries. It's covering lead generation expenses. Now, I think that you should try to keep both those in a manageable shape so that you have a predictable percentage here. I think that your cost of goods sold should maybe average 40% just for this conversation, but I think that's pretty accurate to what I believe. 40% for cost of goods sold. So if you start at $1 million, 400 grand goes to cost of goods sold. Then let's say your expenses, you want to keep your expenses at probably a 35% is a pretty healthy way to do that. So that now means $350,000 off of that million, 35%, leaving you with 25% or $250,000. So over here in your team bucket, in bucket number 3, you are profitable by 25%. And when you know these numbers, you're going to be able to say yes to that expense and no to that expense, and you can red light, green light as you move forward. I hope that makes sense, because we need to understand the right profit breakdown as we move forward. And I'm going to now dive into the 5 ways to grow a healthy and profitable team. Number 1, master your own production. I think that there's people out there that want to get done with real estate and they want to just hand off that business to other people. And I think it's an irresponsible way to hand off business, because it is financially irresponsible. I think that you need to lead with revenue, and you gotta fill your pockets with cash if you're ever going to make healthy decisions for your business. Now, if you're going to master your own production, this means that you have to stay in production for longer. That means, yes, you're serving as the leader of the team and the CEO, but you're also serving as probably one of the top producers, if not the top producer. But I want to share with you a model that I think is a brilliant way for you to buy back some of your time so that you can reinvest that into your team. Those of you making a leap into building a team, this is for you. Those of you that have a team, this is for you. Those of you that are looking to get out of production, this is for you. This is kind of like that golden key that's going to open up a ton of opportunities for you. It's called the showing partner model. A showing partner is the nurse to you being the doctor, or for other agents on your team as well. This works in so many layers and ways. But I think that we oftentimes spend our energy as agents on $15 an hour work or $20 an hour work. I don't think that it takes a skilled precision person to open a door and to stay in conversation and contact with folks. I think that you should be skilled and it should be precision based, but as a partner model of this, you're going to set yourself up for massive success when you bring in somebody who's great talent. Let me say this. If you haven't seen it before, I have an awesome video. I at least think it's awesome, talking about how you should never hire a buyer agent again. And in fact, I think you should hire showing partners instead. There's a few fundamental pieces I need you to understand in this. Let's talk about how you want to get out of production and financially, is it lucrative? So we're going to take 5 transactions, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that you would normally do. Each one is a $10,000 commission, just for simple math. That means that $10, $20, $30, $40, $50,000 is right here waiting for you in commissions. Your idea is, I'm just going to hire a couple of buyer agents and they're going to do this production so I can get out of production. I want to be done with it. And I think they're going to make me money. So you take these 5 and you give them to a couple of new buyer agents. they're not as good as you. Like they can't convert like you. They don't have the talent and the skill set like you do. So maybe they're going to do 3 of the 5. In fact, I think that probably 2 out of 5 is more accurate, but we're going to say 3 out of 5. Well, guess what? You're on a 50-50 split with these. So 5, 10, 15,000 is what you're going to make now, and 5, 10, 15,000 is what they're going to make. You went from making $50,000 to $15,000 by handing off deals to other people. You want to grow a career for them, right? You want to help them to be massively successful. So you hand them over these appointments and these leads, and you say, go and kill it, go and do really, really well. And I know I'm going to make a lot of money from it. As far as I can tell, you just left almost $35,000 on the table in that model. The showing partner model works like this. You are still the lead negotiator. You are still the lead relationship person. You are simply removing yourself from the minutia of the transaction, the things that slow it down. So now let's take a look at these 5, okay? If you have $10,000 of value on each of these 5, do we expect you to kill 5 out of 5? I would. I think you're the best salesperson on your team until you have a chance to really build people up, and that takes years. So now you keep all $50,000. The company gets 25, you get 25 if you're on that split, and that's fine. You can do that math however you want, but it's still all your money. Here's what I know though, is that you can take somebody and pay them a salary of say $2,500 to $3,500 a month. This is called a showing partner. It is a licensed agent who is new into real estate. They're wanting to get their feet wet. They want a chance to make a big life and a big career for themselves. Not always. Some people like staying in the showing partner model, but most folks are saying, I want to be an agent on your team. I want that $5,000 fat cash commission. And we irresponsibly just hand that over to buyer agents saying, I'm expecting you to bring back all this money. And it doesn't work that way. And I see so many people go flat broke when they hand off all that stuff. And instead, I want you to give an MBA or a doctorate to this new showing partner, because you keep 5 out of 5 and they come along and they work for, say, $2,500 a month. That's a $30,000 a year salary. If that's the case, you're going to close 5 out of 5. And if it even takes 2 months to close these 5 out of 5, you're going to pay $5,000 in their salary and you still keep $45,000. This person, this new showing partner, has a chance to earn their right to climb up your company ladder. It is as financially lucrative as anything you can do is by you staying in production, but you're buying back the time. You won't spend your time doing the showings. You won't spend your time setting them up on drips. You won't spend the time holding their hand through the process. You are there just like your doctor is. This morning, I had to bring my son to the doctor. My son Simon is 4. That's him right there. I had to bring him to the doctor because yesterday he fell off the couch and hurt his foot. Brought him to the doctor. Turns out he has a little break in his pinky toe. And so he's in a walking boot now for 4 weeks. The nurse came in, asked all the questions, set up everything. The doctor came in, touched Simon's foot a little bit, ordered the x-ray, and then left. We went to another specialist. The x-ray tech did the x-ray, came back, and then the doctor came in with the x-ray and said, yep, it's broken. And then somebody else came in and did all the other work. See, that doctor was there for a bit of time, but I was there for the doctor, not for the nurses. Are you spending too much time as the nurse when you should be spending time as the doctor? See, I think different than the medicine and the medical world, people can come into the real estate world and they can shadow and learn so that they can grow in this opportunity, which actually leads me to the second point I want to make. Number 1 is to master your own production. But number 2 is that you want to have everything earned and nothing given. See, far too many times in real estate teams, we give huge opportunities before people are trained and skilled and have earned that right. Let's talk about showing partners for one more brief moment. These are going to blend together just a little bit. The showing partner model, I think, is a great one because you also open up a different talent pool that's there. If you ask somebody, hey, I want you to come and be a realtor on my team, it's all commission, but you can live a big life. I think you're going to do really well at it. Here's who says yes. Somebody with a sugar daddy or sugar mama, maybe a trust fund, So sugar daddy or sugar mama, somebody with a trust fund, somebody with a second job, somebody with terrible financial skills, or somebody with a savings account. See, that somebody with a savings account is like 20% at best of who we're actually looking for. Because the idea is if you're going to get into real estate full time, if you're going to make that leap, it's a big financial leap. Let's say you get a buyer your first day of starting, which doesn't happen, but let's say you get a buyer on day number 1. Well, the average buyer looks for 10 weeks. The average home sits in escrow for 6 weeks. So, Mr. and Mrs. New Realtors, if you think you're going to make it, if you can go 4 months without a paycheck, at minimum, you're going to be just fine in real estate. And you shrink that talent pool down so much. But what happens if you're saying, listen, you're going to earn your chance to earn those big commissions? If you want to make 6 figures, I want to help you do that. Everything will be earned and nothing will be given, but let's open up that talent pool. I'm going to pay you 30 or 40 grand to come in and start and learn as you go. You're going to leverage me, and I'm going to give you your doctorate. I'm going to give you your MBA in real estate, and you're going to follow along with me. See, subsection on number 2. Number 2 is everything is earned, nothing is given. But I would also say that you need to hire and train Navy SEALs. See, a Navy SEAL is like the top echelon. The Navy SEALs and Green Berets are like the top echelon for people in military. They are the best of the best of the best. They're not the ones that are the hand raisers and the ones that can fog a mirror. These are the people that are exceptional. And I only want exceptional people in my world. And because I only want exceptional people in my world, I am intentional on making sure that I am giving them an amazing education, opportunity, and experience, that they are earning their way up. I had 2 different guys in their mid-20s join my team years ago. One was making $85,000 a year and one was making $75,000 a year. Both college educated and were climbing up the corporate ladder, one in construction management and one in industrial engineering. Really, really intelligent guys. And I offered them a chance to say, hey, I'll pay you an opportunity for 30 grand, 30 grand a year, and then you'll earn some commissions on that, like when you bring in things. And when you can prove that you're going to do what I think you can do and you earn that right, you're going to get opened up to everything that's in my world. Well, those 2 guys last year made $250,000 and over $400,000 each. That's their nets. That's not their gross. That's their net. That's their take-home cash in Fargo, North Dakota. This happened because we hired and trained them to be Navy SEALs, but they were not Navy SEALs when we found them. They were unproven talent in the real estate world. And we found people that were hungry, tenacious, and coachable. And then we have them earn their way. I can promise you, if I started them off as a realtor, just like I started everybody else, and that they didn't have a base pay, I didn't pay them $2,500 a month to come into my world, they would have gone without pay for 4 months at minimum. And if they go without pay for 4 months at minimum, that's $10,000 or more. And financially, most people can't do that. So change the way in which you play the game and watch your game change. Understand this is if you're going to have Navy SEALs, if you're going to hire people to be Navy SEALs and you're going to groom them and grow them, it is on the other side of massive attention and intention that you are cultivating and curating the perfect journey for them. But if you just give it to them and they don't earn it, I just don't have a track record to say that they're going to make it. Number 1, master your own production. Number 2, everything is earned, nothing is given, and hire and train Navy SEALs. Number 3, spend money in the right places and always lead with revenue. Number 3 is all about cash. I talked about the emotion of hiring the right people, and we talk about the cash that you can keep by mastering your own sphere, because you need to lead with revenue. That is so important, so much so that I even put it on number 3. But we need to spend money in the right places. And there are 3 and only 3 categories of where business comes from. Do you have a strategy for each? Strategy and placement number 1 is PCSOI, past client and sphere of influence. See, this is like the quote unquote free stuff, right? This is earned, not purchased business. And there's only 2 ways to get business. It's you buy it or you earn it. And are you doing the right strategies to earn business? I'm not talking about asking for referrals. I'm talking about being so attractive and generous with how you live your life that people can't help but give you referrals. I think your social media strategy matters on this. I think that your touches to your clients matter on this. And hear this so clearly. PCSOI, past client and sphere of influence, if you automate this and don't have personal touches of customization on this, if you choose automation and no customization, you will burn out those relationships. I have almost 5,000 past clients, and this is one of the mistakes I've made is we just send them company emails and invites to client events, and we don't put the customized touch on there that we should. And so people feel transactionalized and forgotten about by us. Now, we're developing and continuing to work on a really healthy plan of these touches. In fact, in our world, we have the ISAs, we have inside sales agents that tend to all of my purchase company business. So all the dollars that I spend, they focus solely on that, and they hand off appointments, not leads, they hand off appointments to our agents. That's super valuable because what we're doing is we're freeing up our agents to focus solely on past clients and sphere of influence, that they give all their energy to that place. When they do so, they're time blocking for it, they're doing it with routinization, and they're giving lots of customized touches over and over again. My agents average over 30 PCSOI deals each annually. They're getting so much business from this because this is the most important bucket that you can pay attention to. So are you spending money on that? Are you spending time on that? Or are you just automating it? Because if you're just automating it, it's not going to work. Bucket number 2 is low hanging fruit. These are purchased pieces of business that are the most likely to work with you in the next 30 to 90 days. Zillow, HomeLight, Realtor.com, Trulia, radio, TV, those lead sources, when somebody contacts you, those are property inquiry leads if you're on the buy side, or those are what we call come list me appointments, where folks are basically saying, you're the one I want, let's dance, I'm ready to list my house. I would put direct mail maybe in that also. Those are really expensive mediums to the tune of hundreds and hundreds of dollars as a cost per lead. Here's some Zillow averages. I think the average person converts on Zillow 7 or 8% of the time. And if they're converting 7 or 8% of the time, you'd be left saying, well, okay, how many leads do I have to buy? Well, an average Zillow lead, at least in my town, is 130 to 150 bucks. So that means I got to spend $1,500 in order to actually get somebody to convert. Like, those numbers are terrible and atrocious. You shouldn't want to spend that much. And yet this is an important leg to the stool. It's an important bucket, is that sometimes you need to generate business right now and to have a strategy for it. I would just caution you, putting too much money and too much emphasis on the low hanging fruit bucket is going to lead you to not making any money for your team. I coach a lot of people, and I get a chance to see the insides and outsides of their business. It's those that rely heaviest on this bucket that have the shakiest foundation. PCSOI is bucket number 1. Low hanging fruit is bucket number 2. And the third place where you can go and buy business is in long-term nurtures. These are forced registration leads, pay-per-click leads, and there's a lot of different sources that you can go after with this. This is one of my favorite ways to purchase business inexpensively and convert it exceedingly well. Now, understand this, that the conversion rate for an average low-hanging fruit bucket, that's bucket number 2, an average conversion rate is between 120 and 180 days. It takes 4 to 6 months from the time in which you buy that business for it to actually close. In our world, this third bucket, this low-hanging fruit, has an average gestation period of over 600 days. I think 640 days is our most updated number. That means it takes on average almost 2 years to close these out. Now, will you get some in the first year? Yeah, I think you'll actually get like 2% in the first year. And then another 1% in year 2 and another 1% in year 3 and beyond. I love watching our sales ticker come, because there's some lead sources that we haven't purchased for 4 or 5 years, but we're still closing out deals from that because we are taking care of these long-term nurtures. I stopped spending it long ago, but I'm really reaping the benefits still today. These leads are $5 to $15 each. And you can expect to convert probably 2% on average, 3 or 4% if you're doing really, really well. But now if you spend $10 on a lead and you have to buy 50 of them to convert one, well, that's only $500 for that, where we were $1,500 for the Zillow type leads. Both are necessary. This third bucket here, if you haven't seen what my partner Robbie's doing, oh my gosh, he's in Sierra Interactive and he's in Ylopo, mastering this long-term nurture game and helping people to do so. I'll provide a link in the email that we send out for you so you can see some of the stuff Robbie's doing, but it is worth exploring. If you're in a different CRM, I can't necessarily help you. We do open up and follow up Boss soon, but I will still say that we've compared all of them, and Sierra Interactive continues to reign supreme from the things that we look at for our best CRM. So I want to make sure that you spend money in the right places, and I want to share with you what comes from the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book. This is written by Gary Keller and Jay Papazan. It has been essentially one of the Bible pieces. It's a guidebook for how to build a great real estate team. And I agree with like 94% of what that book says. The other 6% that I delineate from is really on the team structure of like what you need to pay somebody and what expenses are in an average market, as I think that the game has changed. Now, here's what they say in MREA, is they say that if you're going to convert a lead, you have your METs and your have not METs. Okay, so the METs would be your PCSOI. The have not METs would be every other bucket. So low hanging fruit and long-term nurtures. They say that with your METs, you should expect a 12 to 2 return on things. So for every 12 people in your database, 2 people will come and give you business. And I've always asked, like, why don't they just like work with the fractions and go 6 to 1? And the reason why is because if for every 12 people in your database, 1 person should refer you business and 1 person should actually do business with you. That is a 16.67% chance at converting that lead and taking that person from just being a Met and a friend or a past client into an actual cashable kind of business relationship. The other 2 buckets, the low-hanging fruit and the long-term nurtures, MREA says that you should have a 1 or a 50 to 1. So for every 50 people in your database, you should be able to close 1 of them. So how many things are you going to have to purchase? How much cash are you going to have to spend to try to get 1 deal? Or can you just work with those that you know, right? Both have, or all 3 categories have different strategies on them, but I want to make sure that you're spending your money on the right place. If you're only spending it in this low-hanging fruit section, you are in very big trouble with your business. The move is to try to get a lot of clients and to be paying attention to PCSOI and investing a ton. Today is Tuesday. On Thursday, we do date night at Hatch Realty. Every February, we do date night where we give away a large take and bake pizza, and then we give folks a 6-pack of beer or a bottle of wine or a 2-liter of soda. And we just say, have a date on us. These packages cost me $15 each, roughly. And then, of course, we have marketing and advertising expenses. And I'm going to do this math here because it's going to be painful to see. We have 1,850 people coming to date night. That's a lot of touches. That's going to cost me $27,750. That's a lot of cash. I hadn't done the math. I just did the math. That's a lot of cash. But I want to put all my energy and focus on this bucket because I think that if we have 1,850 people come, and if I can get a 16.67 return on that, let me see. That means that I should be able to get 300 deals or more out of just those relationships that we continue to work on. 300 deals, and even if my average commission is $7,000, we're talking $2.1 million in commission by paying attention to this. So, do I have your attention yet on where to spend your money and what to do? We're going to go just 2 more, and then we're going to open it up for questions if you have it. Keep them coming if you do have them. I'm trying to go through and cover as much ground as we can with our time so we use it wisely. 5 ways to grow a healthy and profitable team. Number 1, master your own production. Number 2, everything is earned, nothing is given. So hire and train Navy SEALs. Number 3, Spend money in the right places. And of course, remember to lead with revenue. Number 4, I love this one. Lead follow-up. See, I just talked for 10 minutes about lead generation and where to put your money and your time. I think that lead follow-up is one of the most untold stories in real estate. Working with some coaching clients, I have some coaching clients that have 100 to 200,000 people in their database. This is purchased leads that they've gone after for years and years and years. And all they've done is picked off the low-hanging fruit. The people that are interested in saying, yeah, I'm looking for a little piece of business here. So here I got this one, and the rest we're just going to automate. We're just going to hope that they come back. And most people don't even automate it well. Like, they fall short. It's amazing what needs to happen when you start following up with your leads. The stuff that Robbie's doing, Robbie's built out things within Sierra Interactive that are staying on top of and creating like 25 to 35% more conversations by simply turning on these products. We've done the same within Ylopo. If you're not familiar with Ylopo, you should be. Ylopo is an awesome resource, and it is a chance for you to not only purchase leads through them, but what they do is, for a low cost, I think it's like $1.50 per lead. And don't quote me on that, because those prices change all the time. But I know that when I looked months ago, it was at $1.50 per lead. I can retarget my old leads. I love retargeting, because what that means is maybe I paid $15 for that lead, or maybe I paid $150 for that lead, or maybe it's somebody of my own past clients in sphere of influence. And I'm going to barrage them with Erik Hatch advertisements. I'm going to stay in front of them. I'm going to make them seem like I'm the only realtor that's out there, and we are going to follow them around. If you don't know, if you're not familiar with retargeting, think about that time in which you went to Zappos and you looked at a pair of shoes. And all of a sudden that pair of shoes showed up in your newspaper article, and it showed up on your social media feed. And it's that thing that chases you, because it's a way in which for you to say, oh man, I guess I should get this thing out of my cart, or I should give it consideration. See, Ylopo has a lot of different tools and aspects of it, but I think that whether you're using Ylopo or not, having a strategy for your lead follow-up is imperative. Don't just buy the leads, don't just close the business, but have a plan on what to do with it at every turn. Lead follow-up, I think, for those of you that are purchasing business, is more important than lead generation. Frankly, you already paid for it. If you're going to pay for it, give yourself an insurance policy and start retargeting and start chasing after that. Lead follow-up is so important. We're going 5 and I've gone 4. Let's cover them so far. Number 1, master your own production. Number 2, everything is earned, nothing is given. Do that with hiring and training Navy SEALs. Number 3, spend your money in the right places. Number 4, lead follow-up with more intention. And number 5, the final way in which you can grow a healthy and profitable team is to keep your priorities in order. This one's probably the most important. If you're taking notes right now, I want you to draw out a pyramid, just a nice triangle, and you're going to have 4 sections. So 3 lines, 4 sections, and you are going to have those be horizontal lines throughout that pyramid. I want to help you understand and know that if you want to have your priorities in order to have a healthy and profitable team, that this is what I recommend. This is my pyramid of priorities. I write about it in my book. Look at how handsome that guy is right there. This is called Play for the Person Next to You. It's not a real estate book. It's a servant leadership book. And I think that no matter the avenue of life that you are on, I think that having servanthood at the core is imperative. So in this pyramid of priorities, the base of it, the largest section will have 3 things. It's going to have God, family, and self. I'm not here to talk to you about your faith. I just think that it is an important foundational piece in many of our lives. So that has to show up as my pyramid of priorities. Next to that is my family, and I can include friendships in that too, connections that I have. But I will tell you this, that you need to have your family and your friends as a main priority. We lose a lot of that when we chase after a big business dream. It's not worth it. I've gone to hell and back in this business. I've been kicked out of a brokerage. I've had almost my whole team quit on me. This was years ago, and I've had to turn it around. And then I looked around and I'm like, where'd all my friends go? And it's like, oh yeah, I stopped being a friend. And so they stopped too. It's just not worth it, gang. Uh, we put our spouses and our kids through a whole lot, and it's just not worth it. We work for them. So make sure your priorities in order. Then finally, self-care is the third: God, family, and self. What are you doing to take care of yourself? You going to the gym? You eating right? You reading? Are you doing a miracle morning kind of start to your day? Is your schedule reflective of these things being the most important? Because I want to challenge you with this question. Are you giving yourself and your family your leftovers? Boy, that's a little bit guilt-ridden, isn't it? When I ask that we're giving our family and we're giving ourselves our leftovers, that we're not giving our best to them. We're giving just what we have at the end of the day, and we're usually with a pretty empty tank. We got to do better, and our pyramid of priorities needs to be in order. Because what's the point of profit if you don't have health? Let that sit. What's the point of profit if you don't have health? And we need to be healthiest with our God, our family, and ourselves. Next up, that's the base of the pyramid. We have 4 sections. That's base number 1. The next portion up, we're talking about your team. Today's topic is 5 ways to grow a healthy and profitable team. So let's keep the team at the core. I was with a local realtor friend of mine a couple of years ago, and he says to me, Eric, this is the year I finally put my clients first. And he was running a small 7 or 8 person team. I'm like, dude, it's not about putting your clients first. It's about putting your team first, that they should get your best. You have to be best at the things that matter most, and that's your God, your family, and yourself. But then your team should get your best. That means your schedule should reflect that. That means that your priorities should be in order. That means that they don't get your leftovers, that they get your scheduled time. Your team is more important than your clients in your own personal production. Make sure that you are honoring that with one-on-ones and training and connection times and everything else. There will be enough time in the day. And when you utilize that showing partner model I just taught you, you should be able to have extra time to pour into your team. Because if you don't pour into your team, you will be developing shaky ground for a foundation you want to build. God, family, self at the bottom, then followed by your team. Next up are your clients. Of course, clients have to show up on your pyramid of priorities. Yet, if you are fantastic to your team, fantastic to your family, fantastic to your faith, and fantastic to yourself, your clients are going to be really well taken care of. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. And at the top of that pyramid are, I will put your community. I actually think that when you do it right and you do it well, community engagement and involvement falls on those 3 undercategories. As an example, my friend Nick and I started a movement 5 years ago called Sell a Home, Save a Child. And every time we close on a property with people, we give cash donations to help rescue kids from the sex trade industry and living in garbage dumps and unforeseen kinds of situations. So I wanted my business to have purpose. And so I infuse that, just like I infuse my faith into everything. It's not just something I put on a shelf and visit every once in a while. So if you want to be great to your clients and great to your team and great to your God, family, and self, as you infuse community into all of those. See, when you have your pyramid of priorities in order, everything is that much easier, because you can have profit. You can sell a ton of houses, but if you lose your time and if you lose your priorities, it's just not worth it. Take it from a guy that's been there. Okay. I have seen the brightest of days in real estate, and I have had my hardest moments of my life in this business. And if you are to build a team, if you're thinking about it, follow these steps. Reach out for help and guidance and coaching. I'm happy to help however I can. We give away pretty much everything for free. So check out our YouTube channel. If you are building a team right now and you're in it and you're struggling, evaluate these things that we just talked about. How are you doing on each of those? It's not too late. You're not in too deep to not be able to adjust some of these things. But get your numbers right, get your head right. And I want to say this as we look to wrap. We have a lot of resources I want to put in front of you. I think Robbie's stuff can help a ton with his. We have 2 things called Hatch Systems and Hatch Messaging. That's all incorporated within, right now it's incorporated within Sierra. We'll be launching a follow-up boss very soon. Then we have our Hatch ISA, which runs exclusively within Ylopo. Those can help you with lead follow-up in a really, really big sort of way. But if you've liked what we've talked about today and you like the rhythm of these conversations, we're doing something right now called Hatch Huddle. The first 30 days are free. After that, it's just 99 bucks a month. And it can be for you and your team members, where we do weekly kickoffs for 45 minutes every Monday. Mindset, skills, sharpening, all these opportunities for you to grow. It's free for the first month. There's no reason you shouldn't sign up. So I'm going to make sure that when we email you, for those of you watching live, we are going to put that out there for you. This Hatch Huddle is an awesome thing. Andrea asked the question, do you send our date night invites to all of our leads? Yeah, really, really good question. We invite anybody we can to date night. We invite past clients, we invite friends, we invite family members, we invite people that have never even responded to us before, but we have their contact information. So we chase them down in any possible way. And as we do so, we're able to convert some of those people long-term. It's really a valuable thing. So yeah, if you are looking to do client events and to pay attention to your PCSOI, it also serves as a way to touch upon that purchased business too. So great question. So we're going to email you some details. We're going to give you a replay of this, so hopefully you can watch and digest it. If you haven't done so yet, subscribe to our YouTube channel. We put out new content weekly on there, sometimes more than weekly, and sign up for the Hatch Huddle. It's free for the first 30 days, just 99 bucks a month thereafter, and it would be a great way for you to continue to be healthier and more profitable. With that, I don't see any other questions, so thanks for tuning in. God bless y'all. Have a beautiful day. You're welcome, Sheena.